Ahoy shipmates, Amy from Cruise Craze Fam. So yes, I did get gastro on a cruise ship. So there is a stereotype around gastro on a cruise ship. What I want to focus on, because gastro is still a lot less common in cruise ships than it is, say, in hospitals or schools. The amount of times I've had gastro from the kids bringing it home from kinder or school, this was, I think, my 13th cruise, and this is the first time I had experienced anything like this. So rather than focusing on the negativity around this, one thing that really pleasantly surprised me is how well the cruise line actually, all the protocols are in place and how well they handle a gastro outbreak. So that's what I want to focus on in this video.
Cruise Craze Fam, let's sail away. Everywhere we want to play, on the seas we roam.
So the first signs of anything was probably Ty. We didn't think much of it at the beginning because he kind of threw up once, but then he said he was fine. He had been trying to eat things with dairy when he can't eat dairy. He and I both have an allergy to dairy. Basically, when he was a baby, I had to rush him to the hospital first time I gave him formula because his whole body just broke out in a rash immediately and swelled up. For me, it's stomach pain. It's actually an allergy to the protein in the dairy. So if I have that lactase or whatever, it won't do anything for me. I have to have an antihistamine because it's the inflammation of the gut that really hurts. So anyway, we thought maybe Ty had just been pushing his luck a bit with the dairy. He threw up, said he was all right, but it was kind of coming and going in waves. So I'm like, this isn't gastro. I don't know what this is. I just thought it was just something to do with his allergy. Now, we went out on the Thursday night. We were drinking, we were having fun. And then it got to about midnight. I was in bed already. It was after midnight, maybe it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and I was already in bed, and I kind of I'm feeling a bit queasy, and I just thought it was the alcohol. But I threw up, and then I could not stop throwing up. It was constant. It was, sitting on the toilet with my head in the sink type thing. It was just constant. There was nothing there, and my body just kept wanting to throw up. So it was, I'd say, at least 8 hours of just intense vomiting. I was so weak and so tired. And then the next morning, I think it was around 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning, that's when I built up enough strength to call the medical centre. Day 7 of our Carnival Splendor cruise, and I have been in bed for the last 2 days. Unfortunately, I came down with gastro. I've been released out of quarantine now, but I still feel like death. At the moment, I'm just really tired and dehydrated. I had it, Peter had it, and Ty had it. Ty got it first, but for some reason mine was a lot worse than the others. So I'm just here trying to recover. I did see the medical staff. I'll talk about that another time when I'm feeling a bit more up to it. But right now I'm just trying to get some rest because tomorrow's the last day of the cruise. So I've got to pack up everything tomorrow. We've got a bit on tomorrow as well, so just working out. I just got to get better so that I can get on with everything. All right, so it's day 8 of our 8-day cruise, and I'm doing better today. Still feeling a bit lethargic. Alira, Mummy should be doing that. Still feeling a little bit lethargic and lightheaded, trying to rehydrate. They've been bringing me my meals, although last night, not sure what happened, if I didn't hear the door or what, but I didn't get a meal delivered last night. But then they did come to collect it, so yeah, don't know what happened there, but all good. I mean, it's good to know that they've got these procedures in place, so you know, if you are sick, that they will look after you, but also, you know, there's those measures to make sure that you don't spread it. So today, basically, we've got to pack up everything. I was supposed to be going to Behind the Fun this morning, and I'm absolutely shattered that I can't go, because honestly, I don't think I'm strong enough to walk around for 4 hours. So I'm going to pass that on to probably my dad if I can do that. But yeah, I'm super shattered. It's definitely not gone as planned. But these things happen. They can't be helped sometimes. It just happens. It's just been bad luck on this cruise, unfortunately. So this is the moment it hit me. It didn't actually hit me until day 8, because I was so sick for the 2 days before that I didn't even have time to process kind of what had happened. The reason it hit me so hard at this point is because I realized all of the family events that we had planned that I'd missed out on. I had a lot of stuff planned. We had matching outfits for the 80s party that we had been planning for so many months. The girls were all going to be matching, Kate and I were going to be matching, and we were absolutely devastated for that. The following night, we had Fahrenheit 555 booked. Now, we've spent, I think, 40 odd days on this ship, and we still haven't had a chance to go to Fahrenheit 555 because of having the kids on there with us, and Alira doesn't always want to go in the kids club. So we still haven't had a chance to do that, and we're super excited to do a double date with Kate and Nathan and do Fahrenheit 555. We're super excited for that. It was going to be kind of just an adults' night out. 2 of my subscribers, Katie and Cameron, I had got a heads up that they were getting engaged, and I knew that they were some of my, shipmates who had followed me for a while, and I had been tipped off that they were going to get engaged, and I'd promised them that I would be there to record it, and that hurt me that I couldn't be there for that moment. I did send my dad down, and he did film it for me, thankfully, but I was devastated I couldn't be there for that. We were planning on doing Build-A-Bear. I was really looking forward to that. We had Behind the Fun booked. This is something we've been really looking forward to doing as well, and because we had my parents on board, we thought this was a perfect opportunity to do it. So basically, with the Behind the Fun, the first question they ask you when you get there, have you or anyone else in the cabin had any symptoms of illness in the last 72 hours? If the answer is yes, you can't do it. And that's understandable. It makes sense because you are going down into the crew areas, you're going into the bridge, you can't be carrying these types of diseases around. They can't afford to have that run through the crew as well. So unfortunately, we had to cancel that. Thankfully, we got a full refund. They refunded all of that, which is good because it wasn't cheap, but again, it's just another experience we were really looking forward to that we were really devastated that we missed out on. The Dr. Seuss breakfast. So in the last In my last vlog, you would have heard me talking about how excited we were to see Maddie and Ali do the Dr. Seuss breakfast for the first time. This is another thing that was a family event that we missed out on that we were absolutely shattered for. We also didn't get to try Mad Sizzle in the end, which earlier in the vlog on the 2C days at the beginning, we went to go do it, but the line was just too long. But we had really depended on these last 3 days of the cruise to be our opportunity to do all of these things. And unfortunately, those 3 days were just wiped out for us. Sorry, this is actually the first time I've got actually upset about it. I've kind of dealt with it okay, knowing, you know, these things happen. It's just, you know, planned it 1.5 years out. And the 3-day cruise was great. We had a great time. And then this cruise, it just seems like nothing's gone as planned. But, you know, at least I've had a chance to relax and get better, and I've been taken care of, which has been nice, but I'm upset for all the things I've missed out on. But overall, you know, when you look at the whole cruise, we've had a good time and we've got to share some time with our family. So I can't be mad. I'm just disappointed for the hiccups along the way and the time that we've missed out on. But, you know, there's other cruises. So we'll have more chances, so that's all good. All right, so when you get on board, first thing you will notice is you'll get this good to know sheet in your cabin. The first one on there is health information. It says, to stay healthy, please wash your hands regularly with soap and water and use hand sanitizers around the ship. We do this. Let me just say we do this. Should you experience any symptoms of respiratory or gastrointestinal illness, please immediately return to your cabin and notify medical staff by phoning 4444. So obviously, if you've got any symptoms, they don't want you wandering around the ship spreading it. So I called 4444. All right, so when I got to the medical center, I had to fill out some paperwork. The nurse assessed me. She suggested that I see the doctor. She said the doctor can put me on an IV drip and can give me any further treatment that he thinks that I need. Now, she would see me for free. The doctor would cost money. I'm sitting there in my head and I'm adding up the cost of Alira's medical visit, Alira's next potential visit when we get all the dressings off. So I'm sitting there just counting the money, and I was honestly, I regret it now. I was stubborn mum, like, I've had gastro many times before. I'll be right. I'm tough. And I was like, I'll suck it up. I'll be right. And for 2 days, I could not get out of bed. Day 3, so all of Friday, all of Saturday, I just slept. And Peter's, I've heard him tell people he's never seen me that sick before. Like, I'm someone who can't even nap. So for me to be sleeping for 2 days solid, he knows I'm sick. And so I was in no state to be looking after the kids or anything like that. Now, day 8, I did get up a little bit because I had to. I had to start packing and everything. I'd do little bursts of stuff and then I'd have to lay back down. I was still feeling really nauseous, really tired, really lethargic. Now, what the nurse said, so she did send me back to the cabin. She obviously recommended that I saw the doctor, but I turned that down. What she did recommend that I do, she gave me some anti-nausea medication, and she gave me like some hydrolyte type stuff. I can't remember the name of it, but it's like hydrolyte, so it's a rehydration powder that you add into the water. So I tried to have that as much as possible. Now, they do bring you your food. So from what I've been told, because I was inside the cabin, I didn't see it, but what I've been told is on the outside of the cabin, there was a notice on the door saying that we were quarantined, obviously just so the crew know not to come into our cabin, and I guess that we're a bit of a biohazard. So I was quarantined for 24 hours. What they did is they delivered breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So they delivered it on a tray. It was a strict diet that they deemed suitable for my illness. So they delivered chicken soup, toast, and jelly. That's what my breakfast, lunch, and dinner was. They bring you a red bag and your tray of food, and you put the food back in that red bag so that it's like a biohazard bag, so that they know not to put that with everything else. And we're not allowed to leave it out in the corridors, which is fair enough because you don't want this stuff spreading. So they drop it off, they collect it. One thing that was really super fortunate is that when we were on land, we did get Ty just some crackers because of his upset gut. So we did have crackers there. So I ended up living off the crackers because that chicken soup, the smell of it by the end of the cruise made me really sick. Like there was some batches that were okay. There were some batches that was super salty. There was some batches that was cold. It was a really mixed bag of kind of, it wasn't the same chicken soup every time. Let's put it that way. It tasted very different every time they bought it. And there's only so many times, especially when you're already feeling nauseous, you end up, just the thought of that food makes me feel sick now, and I've been fine for a while. Now, I don't know what it was with this gastro, but it made me super sick. I was sick for 2 weeks after this. I got back home and I was sick from Thursday night or all of Friday, all of Saturday, kind of got moving Sunday, had to come back home on Monday, and I went straight back to work on Tuesday. Now, I don't know what it was Wednesday night, but Wednesday night I got feeling really, really, really sick again. Obviously, I was still tired and lethargic, and I still couldn't eat properly. I still wasn't having coffee again. I was still not well. But I went to work on Wednesday, and by Wednesday night, I don't know what it was, but something came over me and I just felt super, super nauseous, like I was going to vomit again. So I went home early that night and just went straight home to bed. So this gastro had definitely knocked me around a lot more than any others. And I will say we were not the only ones who had gastro on this ship. My parents said they definitely saw a lot more cleaning going on, and when we did go back to the medical centre, there was other people in there with the same symptoms. We overheard other people talking about how they had gastro, so there was definitely some sort of outbreak. Whether these people were doing the right thing and isolating and reporting it, don't know. All I can say is, when we did know that it was gastro and we kind of, we isolated ourselves. We tried to stay away from our family. We stayed in the cabin so they did call me when I was released from quarantine. So I was quarantined for 24 hours from my last vomit, but I didn't leave the cabin for 2 days after that. But Peter and Alira isolated for that 24 hours as well. And then they called to check on me. The medical centre called to check on me, to see how I was, and then they released me from quarantine. It was longer than 24 hours. It was more like about 30 hours, I'd say. But like I said, I wasn't in any state to be moving around anyway. They also drop off this form into your cabin. This gives you all of your strict guidelines about what to do. So, dear Carnival guest, please read and comply with all the following requirements during your isolation quarantine period on board. Although these measures may appear restrictive, they are designed to keep everyone safe and healthy. You will be escorted to your stateroom by a member of our staff. That didn't happen. I just went back on my own. No person may enter your stateroom at any time except in an emergency. You may not leave your isolation quarantine stateroom for any reason except in an emergency or as directed by medical staff. When opening your stateroom door for any reason, a face mask covering your nose and mouth must be worn. All deliveries, including food, will be placed outside your stateroom. A knock on the door or a call to your room will be used to notify you of the delivery. Please do not open the door until after the person delivering the items has walked away. They are not permitted to speak with anyone in isolation quarantine. So, meals and room service. Arrangements have been made for meals to be delivered to your stateroom. All meals are to be eaten in your stateroom. So there is a menu on here, but due to it being gastrointestinal, they have a set menu designed around the illness. 1 hour before you'd like your meal delivered, please call. So I didn't have to do any of this, but I will cover it off in case, say, like you've got COVID. So 1 hour before you would like your meal to be delivered, please call room service at extension 8000 to place your order. Should you like any additional items, please use the room service QR code next to your mirror for the menu. All food items will be free of charge. Obviously, they don't want you moving around the ship. They don't want you going to the buffets. So the good thing is that the room service then becomes free. Complimentary water, coffee, tea, milk, juice will be provided daily with meals. Contact room service to request additional drinks or water. I should have done this, but I ended up just drinking the water that was in the cabin. If you wish to order bar beverages, you may contact room service. Orders will be charged to your Sail and Sign account. Note, guests who purchase a Cheers package will automatically receive a prorated refund for their Sail and Sign account. Smoking. If you must smoke, please do so in your bathroom with the door closed. This ensures you extinguish your cigarette completely. Smoking in your bathroom only applies while you're in isolation or quarantine. Housekeeping services. Since our housekeeping team are unable to access your stateroom, your room has been set up with extra towels, paper tissues, toilet paper, disinfectant, cleaning cloths, and face mask. If you need any other housekeeping items, please contact the housekeeping department. If you have any garbage, please place it outside in the garbage bag provided. So I wasn't allowed to do that because it was gastrointestinal though, which they did state to me. To keep you busy. The following complimentary amenities will be provided while you are in isolation or quarantine. Movies on demand, crossword puzzles, Sudoku, colouring pages, and arts and crafts kits upon request. I was honestly just too sick. I just slept. I didn't do any of this stuff. Debarkation. On the night before debarkation, please do not place your luggage outside your stateroom door. So this is if you are still in isolation or quarantine on debarkation day. You'll be provided specific instructions for your luggage. If you require wheelchair assistance, please notify one of our guest services teams. Future cruise credit. We realise vacations are a special time and extend our sincere apologies for the disappointment this has caused. We'd love for you to return to fully experience a carnival cruise you had planned. Accordingly, prorated future cruise credit equal to the number of days you are in isolation or quarantine will be issued so you can sail with us in the future. Detailed information will be provided in a follow-up communication prior to your departure. So I have already applied this to my next sailing. It was super easy to do. I got a form. All I had to do, they gave me a link that you go on there, you fill out all the information of that sailing and your upcoming sailing, and then you apply that future cruise credit. So that quarantine time, that's already going towards my next cruise. If there is anything we can do to make you more comfortable, please do not hesitate to contact our guest service staff at extension 7777. Thank you for your cooperation and understanding. We appreciate your adherence to these important requirements. If you have any questions, please let us know. Sincerely, Hotel Director. Now, I did also get just a follow-up call from the guest services just checking on me, and I did get another notice as well. So overall, I did feel like they have all of the protocols and procedures in place. They do take illness very seriously. They are very careful with the cleaning. It's up to the guests at the end of the day to make sure you wash your hands with soap. Like I said, this is something we do. I don't know if you noticed in the videos, my son tends to use his hands. It's just a boy. He's a boy. He puts his hands in his mouth. It's disgusting. So even though we do wash our hands, you're still touching stuff all the time. And if you're touching stuff and you're putting your hands in your mouth, there's a high risk of it spreading. Obviously, I was caring for my son. I was looking after him. And I was staying in the same cabin. So it's not surprising that we all got it because we're all staying in the same cabin. I'm just glad that we didn't pass it on to our other family members because for some of them, it was their first cruise and I wanted them to have an amazing experience. I don't want it to seem like obviously cruising is a dangerous or unsafe or unhygienic thing because it's not. Honestly, this is the first time we've had any issues like this. But when you have people come on these cruises with an illness, a lot of them will still come even if they're feeling sick because they've paid for the cruise. They don't want to miss it. So they're going to come anyway and they'll bring these diseases on. Where you've got people using the same buffet, same handrails, going to the same events and parties, and there's just a high amount of people in the one space for, say, 8 days this cruise was, then these things are bound to happen, unfortunately. You are never going to wipe it out and eliminate it completely, but these protocols are in place to help prevent the spreading. I just wanted to cover this off so that you know what to expect because I kind of wish I knew some of this stuff beforehand. I mean, you never go onto a cruise expecting to get sick, expecting to get gastro. It was absolutely devastating to me because we had booked this cruise about 1.5 years in advance. This was a massive family cruise for us. We had massive plans for this cruise, and to miss those last 3 sea days where we had so much planned, it absolutely broke my heart. I remember there was one time on the last day when it just hit me. Just seeing my family members all having fun together, and I just broke out in tears and just cried on my husband's shoulder because we had been separated from the family and unable to do the same things. And on the last night, I even had a moment with my sister-in-law where we just cried on each other's shoulders because we had been separated and we didn't get to do all these things we planned. And she was saying, like, the 80s party, it just wasn't the same because we had planned it so long. But we've made a pact to each other that we are going to do it again. It's not the last time that we're going to do this. We will do it again. And we will get to relive those experiences. But unfortunately, these things just happen. And you just got to deal with it. I mean, it happens on land. It happens at sea. It is what it is. We are fortunate to cruise as much as we do. And it has not changed our opinion on cruising. It's just a reality of life. And, you know, it's only gastro. It's only a temporary thing. It's only a short-term thing. There are much worse things out there that could have happened or we could have experienced. So this is just a reminder that these things do happen. The protocols are in place. Make sure you wash your hands when you're on cruise and get travel insurance. Anyway, I am going to go and get myself together now and get this video together. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry this just feels like a really depressing vlog, and I'm not used to doing depressing vlogs. I wanted this to be a positive one because there is so much positivity that came out of this cruise. This was just, unfortunately, it did not end as we had planned. So take this as knowledge. Take this to know that Carnival are taking your health seriously. Make sure you wash your hands. And anyway, I'm going to go and get myself together. But thank you for watching. There is still a little bit more to come from this series. So please hang in there, watch this last vlog, and I've got some more great videos coming up soon, and I promise they will all be a lot more positive than this one, because we had some really epic cruises after this that I haven't got around to putting those vlogs out yet. So there is plenty of positivity. It was just this cruise was against us, but anyway, it's done. We've moved on. We're loving watching the vlogs of all the great times we did have together. So I will catch you in the next one. Thank you.